Okay, anyway. Okay. YouTube mode. This is day -2, basically. Day -2, day -1. Gogeta is out. Ssj4 Gogeta. The last character of Dragon Ball FighterZ Season 3 is now out. So this character has been pretty interesting because normally, you know, I go through the character's moves, I take some time in training mode. I don't usually play the character for a day or two, but actually in this case, in this specific case, oh, there you go. Anyway, in this specific case, so actually when they released Baby and then showed that Gogeta was the last character, I made a prediction that I thought this character was going to be pretty simple at a glance. And surprise, he is. He's a pretty simple character, so I'm going to go through his moves really quick. Talk about his assists and talk about what I think is good, bad, what's going to be hard, what do I think you have to do. So let's start with normal. So his jabs are really good. The big one, and of course the showcase did a lot of this for me already, so I'm going to kind of speed run this part, but his 2L is not a low, but it's 6 frames. It's quite large. It's from about here. This is also quite large. Both are -3, which is pretty good. He has an advancing 5LL. He has an auto combo that puts him airborne, but no air options, but it's head invincible, so you can like mash under people. That's nice. This is the esports normal, 9 frame -5. This normal is really, really crazy. Reaches from round start. This normal is also quite large, but the frame data depends on travel time. So the farther you are away from him, the opponent, I mean, the better the frame data is. So when you're point blank, it's the fastest, but it's really punishable. When you're really far, it can be like -5, -4 at best, but it's like 15, 16 frames. His 5H is 17 frames, so following the rules of the game, nothing jails into this. So nothing jails into this. And I say as I do 2H over and over. His 2H is actually pretty good. It advances forward and he's on the ground, so he has ground special cancel options. He has a bunch of good special cancel options off it. His Ki Blast is a move I want to experiment with more. It's a tracking Ki Blast. For example, here, it will go up there, and I think actually this is gonna be a pretty important move for him. And I should have experimented with using this move a little bit more when I played matches with him because it does track. It's a Ki Blast that beats Ki Blast, just like Broly's, but he only could fire 1, and it hits from about, I want to say, round start position. It's like, here it reaches for sure. Then the other big thing is probably his 6H as far as normals. So he has various follow-ups. So he has 6H, which is -8. He has an overhead follow-up that's -5, and it's 20 frames, extremely fast. He has a 3H follow-up, also that's 26 frames, delayed overhead. You can delay the overhead follow-up, and he has special cancel options, and he has Ki Blast options as well. So you have a bunch of options you can kind of cycle through. You can cancel into special moves like the Axe Kick. You can actually go for a mix-up. You can choose to command grab him. There's a lot of things you can do off it. His air move is pretty straightforward. His JL kind of big. His JM is huge. This move is definitely stand out for me. You can be point blank without pressing buttons and reach people and reliably combo. His JH is also pretty big, I would say, but not surprisingly big in any way. So then, special moves. So one is he has a lariat that beats projectiles. That's a big deal. But the issue is it doesn't go that far. So the L version probably reaches like max here. So okay, that's just outside, right? So that gives you an idea of how it's not very far. If I walk back here, I can get like 1 backdash from round start. You can't get the M or EX version, right? So you have to be within like this range. Again, you have to be like mid-range for all these things. But it beats projectiles, and the return on everything is really good. I actually don't have combos of any of these yet. So the real big neutral move, I feel like I have like mixed feelings about this, is the Axe Kick. So the Axe Kick goes really, really far. That was the L version, doesn't go that far. But the medium and EX versions travel from, I feel like, here still reaches, right? Medium and EX versions are both +2. The light version is -2. It is overhead. I actually would have liked this. Well, I don't actually know yet if it's Trunks style, where Trunks has the 26 frame overhead that's not 26 frames, it's faster. I mean, functionally faster, so I actually don't know if this is technically faster. or if the EX version is technically faster. You know, like the game says it's 24, but it's faster. Yet, but it's good to just keep in mind that you have that as an option. He also has the 4 frame. So this is a counter move. So here, if you activate it, you have a ton of time to combo, right? On that, and also as a nice bonus, you get to do this. I mean, okay, so I guess a full clip of Ki Blast. You're not going to involve the whole Ki Blast, but it does tank projectiles, which is nice. He has DP, a pretty standard DP. It's not that big, hits both sides, super punishable, but you get aka you and your opponent get a Dragon Ball, which is kind of nice. You can kind of aim for going for this in neutral. I'm going to talk about some neutral stuff with him later, but you can kind of aim for going for this in neutral as well for like a later game thing if you feel like it. So then you have your command grab. So he does a Kamehameha animation, so he doesn't have an actual beam. And the confetti is the range. So it's actually a pretty big grab. It's 26. You might think it's kind of slow. I think it is kind of tricky. I don't think you just bust it out like a 24 frame or like a 20 frame, you know, like base Goku or whatever. But it's a nice option for him to have. When I was practicing against like 6H overhead, 6H low, 6H command grab, and then like also 6H axe kick, I found it pretty difficult to defend the command grab there. And while the command grab return, as of right now, I don't know how good the return is, to be fair. Like what you actually get off this, right? Like how far you can push this. The thing is, and we'll talk about this later, there is one situation where this move is extremely scary, which we will reach a little bit later. Another move I want to talk about is the success. So he gains a 4th bar each time, and he gains a level each time. Each time you level this up, it makes your level 1 and 3 do more damage. When you use your super, it resets your level to 1. This is really, really important for planning matches with him. I made this mistake a bunch before talking about all this stuff, but each time you level him up, he does more damage on his supers. Wow. But when you do it, it resets his level back to 0. If you get level 7, so right now he's at level 7, you basically everything is an instant kill. But you need to make sure you use like a smash hit or some sort. So literally everything kills. Ready? You guys have an idea of what I'm gonna do, right? Even this will kill, probably. Okay. Sparking Starter. Everything will kill. Absolutely everything he does will kill. Which brings us back to the importance of this. Because now, this kills. Okay. Now, on top of all these things that he has, he also has a unique movement option that other characters don't have, where he can air dash twice. Now, you probably noticed that I have not mentioned any type of full screen neutral options and stuff like that. So this is where we're going to kind of delve into like what he actually does to the game at a glance, and like what I like to call match flow. So if you don't know what match flow is, it's your plan for the match. So like what you're literally trying to do every game. So my normal team is like Gotenks, Roshi, Broly, right? So Gotenks hit you, knock you down, ghost, kill, bring in Broly, run the rest of the game. Broly, even if Broly starts the game with like half a bar, 0 bar, he builds a lot of meter of that build. I have a CB now. I'm probably, if I don't get level 3 off my first hit, I'm gonna get close, and then like the next hit's gonna kill. You know, it's a really like straightforward type of plan. Now with him, he has a couple of things that he can do. Now one, you can aim to kill the point character with him and build up the taunt, but if you super with him, you reset it. So if you want to like kill the point and then insta kill the second character, you have to not super with him. So you would need characters that do more damage than normal, like Tian or Ting Gohan or something. Another thing you could do is win the point war with a normal character and then bring him in and try to play the game that way, because I think it'll be a little bit easier where like you, let's say, kill the point character, bring him in, level him up, you use your spark to kill the second character if possible, and then you try to IK the third character. But if you're going for like trying to actually legitimately use the insta-kill super, it's going to be pretty hard. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. I'm pretty interested in what people will do with this. The taunt also buffs the damage overall so that he does off his super. So like, it's not necessarily gonna happen that he's gonna aim for doing this insta kill over and over, but at least he can like raise his damage on his supers from doing it, which is pretty interesting. Now another thing is so he's honestly really straightforward. I haven't learned any like real combos yet, and I won't show combos really for the sake of this, but you know, he does have the universal Dragon Ball combo, so if you want to play him right now, you can do the normal combo, and then instead of doing jump heavy, you could do S into 2-1 for L, and like, you know, he has an SSJ Goku style combo. Now, the big thing about him, another big thing about him, in my opinion, is that he has a lot of little nuance points and things that aren't so obvious, despite me calling him pretty straightforward at a glance. So, one thing, and a bunch of these things involve the extra air option that he has. So, for example, so he has 2 jumps and an air dash, or jump, air dash, right? He also has this as well. He has that as well. I think that's extremely strong. I don't think Golden Frieza can do that offhand. Since he doesn't have full screen options, I feel like a big part of his game will be getting to mid-screen, because once he gets to mid-screen, even with 1 jump, he always has an extra option. So where most characters, and let me bring in Broly on the P2 side. So with most characters, where when they double jump, they have a lot of options, but like, you know, they're still somewhat limited. Because he has the air dash, he has a ton of ways to mess with you up here. He technically, if you really want to go there, he has 3 air dashes, technically. And he is able to like wiggle out of situations that other characters, even if they could, they wouldn't be able to do it the way he does. So let me run this back. So look at this. So I get to move again, essentially. I'll super jump. So I get to move again, but I have to pick, like, you know, you get an air option back when you recover from blocks done in the air. So it's implied that Gogeta has even more options compared to other characters. How this actually develops, I'm not sure, but it's something to keep in mind. I think he's gonna be way more slippery than other characters. At first glance, he seems good. Like, he does a lot of damage, he's really easy. His full screen game is not great, but if he can get to mid screen, he can like dice roll movement a lot, and once he's in, he has a bunch. I'm not gonna say probably. I mean, I will say that he has a bunch of ways of doing left, rights, and stuff. The instant kill, I feel like, is a little bit of a gimmick, but it can happen. It's not like it can't happen. But in my opinion, it's not something you should aim for at the beginning of the game. It should be something that happens in the middle of the game. If it's something that happens in like a 2-2 situation, I think it's a big deal. But as a 3-2, as a 3-3 situation, you went really out of your way to get that shit. Like, super out of your way to get it. So we'll see. He's pretty interesting. Good normals, which is always nice, which will always help him be like pretty good. And we'll see what people end up doing with him. I personally think it's pretty hard to build something for him. I think you have to play like a standard Dragon Ball team if you want to play him. And for me personally, that style is kind of hard. But as long as you do enough damage, I think it's fun. So assists. I did forget to do this. So part of the reason why I forgot to do the assists is because I think his assists are kind of memes. Like, I'm not gonna lie. So he has a meter building assist that gives him a level, but he can't get higher than level 5. It lets you get meter, it gives him levels, but to me it's like whatever. I'm not a fan of meter building assist. The only thing that stands out for me about that is that we have another one. Then we have Lightning Sign. This is the one that most people use. 25 frame, 33 block stun assist that beats projectiles. Pretty good. Pretty good as a Lariat. But Lariat is a pretty standard. It's not, I'll say Lariat is not a standout assist. The nice thing I like about it is that he travels pretty quickly. And he appears from behind. So like, see how he appears all the way back there? That thing is pretty good about it. That thing is pretty good. And last is his DP. It's a ground tracking DP that gives a Dragon Ball that's 40 frame startup and 60 frame block stun. It's, you know, it gives a Dragon Ball, but again, I think it's kind of a meme. Okay, now any questions for real?